Whoever sees this and subscribes right now will get a free book of Genius Annotations. Now, it'll only catch about a third of what I do, but if you can't have me, better to have second best, right? What's going on, YouTube? It's Knox Hill, and we're back. Not with our reaction series, kinda. We are going to dive into the world of Eminem and Snoop Dogg. Now, you guys have been reaching out to me, especially after my last reaction to Favorite Bitch. A lot of you want to hear my take on the situation. I don't know why, but you guys know that I appreciate things, you know, with a cool head. I look at it logically, and then I break it down and give you my opinion. So if my opinion does offend you or does upset you, I always keep it 100 on this channel, and you asked for this. So I have been sent a number of the different sort of interviews that have been happening, a number of the different back and forths. So I think the first point that we will dive into this and dip our toes into the water will be Eminem's interview, talking about why he dissed Snoop on Zeus and kind of what happened on the NYE special. So yeah, let's just jump into that. Let's start there, and then we'll go. We'll see what happens.
On Zeus. There's also a reference where, not even a reference where.
So just to give background, sorry, he talked about his apology to Rihanna first. I wasn't going to do that because this is not dedicated to the Rihanna issue. This is dedicated to the Snoop issue, but anyways, good for M standing up to it. He can't believe that it got leaked. He talks about that, talks about why he felt it was important because he's still really good friends with Rihanna and why he issued that apology. So now we're jumping sort of halfway into this.
On Zeus. There's also a reference where, not even a reference where, you know, you're talking about or speaking to Snoop in the sense of, you know, you don't need to be dogged by him. And I didn't know exactly when or where, what did Snoop do that made you put this line in this song?
Well,
That's such a leading question. Man, your job is a radio presenter for hip hop, okay? For hip hop. Your job is to stay current and to know what is happening in the game. That is, no. That's a bullshit ass question. You already know what it is that triggered M. I mean, we reacted to it and talked about it on this very channel. Snoop came out on IG with the Breakfast Club, with the biggest M hater in the world, Charlemagne. And it was, you know, going on about how M is not in his top 10. Not in his top 10. But then it's the last lines that really sort of set people off and trigger it. Anyways, let's see what M says here.
You don't need to be dogged by him. And I didn't know exactly when or where, what did Snoop do that made you put this line in this song?
Well, a couple of months ago, I know he was doing an interview with the Breakfast Club. Somehow my name got brought up. And he was saying things about, you know, I'm not in his top 10. And everything he said, by the way, was fine, like up to a point. You know, when he, I've never said, like him saying that I'm not in his top 10 because there's some rappers from the 90s that I can't fuck with. Him saying Dre made the best version of me, absolutely. Like, why would I have a problem with that? Like, would I be here without Dre? Fuck no, I wouldn't. The rappers he mentioned from the 90s, KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane, G-Rap, like, I've never said I could fuck with them. I never said that. You know what I'm saying? So it's...
And this is what is amazing to me about M. Look at his career and his longevity. And yeah, KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane, I don't want to take anything away from them. They are just crazy dope MCs. You know, they are forefathers of hip hop to me. They have laid the foundation for so many rappers that have come since then. But if we're being honest here, if we're looking at the span of an entire career, I mean, M is the only one that is still here, really, that is still relevant to the mainstream. I mean, think about it, to have that sort of longevity in this genre when so many have come and gone. That just speaks volumes on its own. You know, to me, lyrically, and where M's pen game is right now, sober Eminem, this last album and what he's done, man, he is as sharp as he has ever been, honestly. Like, he really is on another level in terms of how he's operating. He is elite status right now. So this is someone who is way up there with these other dudes. And he's still so humble. Like, even in this interview, he could come out and say, you know, he could be on some confident type shit, right? He could be on his own swag, but he's not. He's going, no, I don't disagree with that. That's fine. I never said that I could fuck with him. I mean, that's still him being respectful to the OGs, him still paying homage. And then to Dre, you know, I wouldn't be here without Dre. He's just coming out and admitting that. Like, he doesn't have a problem with that. And I didn't have a problem with those comments either, with what Snoop said, because everyone's entitled to their opinion. But it's the way that Snoop presented himself, and it was his attitude, and then how he carried it. Let's keep going.
Like everything was good until like, it was more like, I think it was more about the tone he was using that caught me off guard, because I'm like, yo, where is this coming from? I just saw you, like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, it threw me for a loop. Again, I probably could have got past the whole tone and everything, but it was the last statement when he said, as far as music I can live without, I can live without that shit. Now you're being disrespectful for like, it just caught me off guard. I wasn't ready for that. And people
exactly. That is disrespectful. Saying he can live without M's music. I mean, M's music has just bridged a gap for hip hop. It has allowed hip hop to become the number one genre that it is today. And I said about it in my last reaction, and I'll summarize it quickly here. Okay? You can love or hate M, but don't take away from his impact on hip-hop, because one thing that he did was he then allowed hip-hop to cross over to middle America, middle class, upper class America. Him having a white face. Yes, white kids could relate to him, right? All of a sudden, he starts getting spins at rock and roll stations for hip-hop music, creating greater awareness for hip-hop. And you know what these fans have? Money. Money to drive up sales, to drive it up on the charts, buying CDs. And then after they get into M, they start exploring other rap artists and other hip-hop artists. And all of a sudden, you have these new converts to hip-hop music, catapulting the genre. What M has done for it alone from a sales perspective, you have to respect the growth that he has helped inject into hip-hop. You can't take that away from him. And we've talked about it before, the homage that he pays, how respectful he is, how he has inspired newer artists, lyrical artists, the J. Coles, the Kendrick Lamars, the Logics, keeping lyrical rap and lyrical hip-hop alive, all inspired by M's pen and the foundation that he has laid. And then when he drops tracks and he references people from the past, like Big Daddy Kane, like Poor Righteous Teachers, right? Brings Black Thought onto a track. All of a sudden, people start going, who are these people that he's paying reference to? I need to go check them out. M shouted out LL Cool J. New generation. I've never heard LL Cool J. Let me go check them out now. That is an Eminem effect. I don't see rappers paying homage as much as M pays to classic hip-hop, constantly lifting it up. He is a true super fan of rap. All you have to do is look at some of the interviews and the cassette tapes behind him and all the people that he shows off and who he listens to. He is a true fan, and he is truly passionate about this music, man. And he just exudes that with every interview and every track that he does. What he gives back is greater than what he has gained. Anyways.
Now you're being disrespectful for, like, it just caught me off guard. I wasn't ready for that. And people started hitting me up about it, like, oh, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I didn't know what to do about it at first, because it confused me, because I'm like, yo, bro, same team. We're on the same team. Like, what the fuck? And I have never in my career, my entire career, ever said a disrespectful word about Snoop Dogg. I mean, what the fuck? Like, his impact on hip hop, like, I can't front on that. But it's like, at what point does it start becoming like, okay, now everyone's entitled to their opinion. My top 10, top 5 ain't gonna be the same as his, but everyone's entitled to their opinion. So how could I be mad at that? I wasn't mad.
I love how there is genuine bewilderment here. There is genuine sort of him being baffled. Like, all right, I expect hate to come from outside. I know that I'm at a certain level and I got to deal with these idiots. I got to deal with the Benzinos still and the Nick Cannons. But then to get it from my own camp, to get it from right here, Eminem, Dr. Dre, how close they are, how close Dre is to Snoop, the West Coast connection, everything they've all been through, that is, like he says, same team. Same team. You don't turn your back on your teammates. You don't stab the back of your teammates. You guys are in it together. You came up in the trenches together. You can sense the surprise in his voice, because it's like, I want to brush this off. I want to let it go because we are teammates. But there's a line, isn't there? And Snoop definitely crossed the line. And one thing I want to point out too is listen to the way that M is handling himself in this interview. Listen to still how meticulous he is, how logical and rational he is, how respectful he is. Compare that to Snoop's interviews. Go back and watch my video reacting to Snoop on IG, or just go watch any of Snoop's interviews. The man is always sitting there rolling up. He's getting high, which nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. That's the culture that he leads. That's the life that he's in. I get that. But it's like, that respect sort of is lost. Like he's almost on that high, right? Like he's riding on that cloud nine. He just kind of pops off at the mouth and says whatever shit that he wants, not thinking about the consequences or thinking about how the fans are going to take this or the repercussions of anything. Whereas M, every word here is measured. You know, this is a responsible, mature sort of response to it all. Versus Snoop Dogg just saying whatever the hell he's feeling because he's all, you know, he's all up here. He's like, man, I don't care. Shit, I wonder if he even remembers what he said on the interviews, honestly. But another thing I will say is that you don't say those things under the influence of a substance unless there are some of those thoughts at the back of your mind. Unless there are these thoughts that maybe they haven't come out yet, but maybe with a little bit of substance courage, all of a sudden they finally do come out. You know, there's definitely seeds there. And I need to dive further back into some of Snoop Dogg's interviews because apparently there is a trail of breadcrumbs with the hate to M. And other people have speculated on this, that there's a little bit of jealousy. You know, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, then M comes in, M kind of takes over. M is still relevant. Snoop is doing commercials now. We're not talking about Snoop Dogg's music today. We're talking about Eminem's music still. Snoop Dogg, we're talking about the commercials that he's done because he's no longer relevant in hip hop from that perspective. I'm not taking away from the albums that he's dropped, from his discography, from the impact that he has had on the culture and everything that he has done for it. No. Don't get that twisted. We can't take that away at all. All I'm talking about is relevancy right now. And I can't help but feel like there's a little bit of jealousy and there's a little bit of that. This is black culture. This is black music, and the white boy's at the top. Why is the white boy at the top? Why is he getting so much love and so much of this? And before some of y'all come on to hear, oh, Knox is racist, Knox is that. No. Go watch Shaq. Go watch Stevie Knight. Go watch some of these other reactors and their takes on it. Go watch some black reactors and see what they're saying. All right, it's not just me. Not just me that's seeing this and that's reading the field in this way. There's definitely some jealousy towards the white boy. And everything that he's given. I mean, listen to the way that he talks. Listen to the appreciation that he has. Listen to how respectful this man is. Think about it. He doesn't owe anyone shit at this point in time. He really doesn't. He doesn't owe anyone a damn thing. Yet he is still giving.
5 ain't gonna be the same as his, but everyone's entitled to their opinion. So how could I be mad at that? I wasn't mad about the opinion. It was after that. It was that, you know, that the very last statement was like, oh, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. Like, damn, dog. Like, really? But, you know, I said what I said. I addressed it. I felt like what I said what I needed to say. And
I'm not saying to choose sides, but it definitely is it's a song that's going to be talked about for a minute, man. This is Zeus, music to be murdered by, side B, the deluxe edition. Eminem's with us. Shade 45.
Shout out to Shade 45. But it's true, though. Music is subjective. And I try to talk to you guys about this when discussing independent artists or discussing music, or even when some of you might give me critique on things. You have to remember that when I make a song, that is my art. And it actually doesn't matter what you say and what your opinion is, because that's my art. You can't take that away from me. That is my subjective mind and what I wanted to relay and do. And everything that I chose to do, I did for my own reasons. So you cannot vibe with it. You cannot like it. That doesn't make it bad, though. It doesn't take away from the art that I made. Because there's this box of the art, and then there's how you perceive it. And how you perceive it might be different than the next person and the person after that. You might hate it. Someone else might love it. Someone else might say it changed their life. Someone else might say it's cringe. But remember, that's your opinion. And yes, everybody is entitled to their opinions. Everybody can have opinions. They're like buttholes, man. Everybody has one and wants to show it off. But there is a difference between when you take that opinion and you express it as I think or I feel this way, or you express it as this sucks, this is trash, this is garbage, and you're trying to make it look objective. Like, objectively, this sucks. No, you can't say that art sucks. I'm sorry. Until you put yourself in the shoes of an artist, unless you can rap better than me, I don't want to hear your critique on it. Unless you can rap better than M, like he said, unless you can wrap circles around him, he doesn't have time for your hate. He doesn't have time for your critique. You don't get that right. You don't get to do that. All right? You can say you bump it, you can support it, cool. If it's not your vibe, cool. Move on. Click on something else. Go take your energy and your time somewhere else. And I get it. Everybody's entitled to those opinions. And that's what M is saying here, you know. I might not be in Snoop's top 10. And my top 10 is going to be different than his. My top 10 is going to be different than Dre's. That's just how the world works. But see, there's a way to express yourself and let people know that this is your opinion, this is how you feel and why. And there's a way to go about that. There's another way to go about it that can be taken as disrespectful. When you say I can live without someone's music, when you say I can live without, think about the great Eminem songs. Think about Stan, man, how iconic that was. Think about Lose Yourself. The second that the beginning of that instrumentation comes on, you know what that song is. And that has hit and impacts so many lives. Sing for the Moment. We can go on and on about the Eminem songs that have crossed generations and that still get played today. So much that he has given. Nah, I'm sorry, Snoop, but we can't live without M. We can't live without you either. Honestly, let's be real. Let's keep it 100 on this. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for supporting. If you're somehow here at the end of this, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, support this channel, leave a comment for the algorithm boost. Let me know that you're still here and still rocking with me. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you in the next vid. I'm out.